Hey guys, it's Coach Karina. It's Movement of the Month time again. This month what we're talking about is stability training and how that relates to our ability to control movement when there is an asymmetric load or resistance or support in your body in a particular position or exercise. A lot of times, even in walking, what happens is we have support underneath one side of the body, but the other side is either moving or off the ground or not supported in some way or another. And so our system has to be able to compensate for that. So the way we screen for that is we put you on your hands and knees. What we're doing is testing what your body does when you only have support underneath one side. So we put ourselves on our hands and knees. The shoulders are going to be right over the wrists, and the hips are right over the knees. And what you do is you shift your weight to one side, slide one foot back, and the same side hand forward. I'm up here, hold, balance and control the whole time, knee to elbow, and then you reach back out. You put everything back down on the ground and you test the other side. If that feels like really unstable, what we're testing here and looking for is your ability to not fall. Okay, but you're already on the ground, so don't worry about falling. We also just want to see the pelvis shift to the side and not rotate a whole lot. We don't want to see a lot of like opening up of the hips or dropping down of the hips. If it feels like it's too much to do it on one side, balance is really tough in that position. If it feels like it's too much, go to the opposite side. So same position, drag one leg back, drop the other, reach the other arm forward, and see if that feels more stable. Again, knee to elbow, and reach back out. And that's our test. If it feels like there's one side that's a lot harder than the other, we need to spend more time working on the harder side. And so here's what we do. The exercise looks a lot like the test. What we're doing here is establishing control in rotation, control against rotation. So it's a movement of the month, but it's not really movement. It's called derotation or anti-rotation, and it's really what stability training is all about. One of my mentors, a man named Jason Glass, says that you have to earn the right to rotate. You need to demonstrate stability in an asymmetric environment before you're allowed to move through that environment. And most of our movements in athletics and in life in general involve rotation in one way or another, or at one point or another. So the way that we're going to train for it is like this. We're starting on the hands and knees, same as our screen. The shoulders are over the wrists, the hips are over the knees, and we're going to find a neutral position, start moving in the forward and backward kind of plane. So you're going to arch the tailbone up, look up, big arching position and arching in the spine, and then you're going to tuck the tail down, look down, belly drawn in, rounding, rainbow shape in the spine. And you look forward and you look back. Maybe a few cycles like that, but after a bit I want you to quiet the head and shoulders down and keep the movement happening in the tailbone. We're going to find neutral this way. We're going to go arch and then round, and maybe a few cycles like that, but then you're going to end with arching, draw the belly in, squeeze the buns. That's how you're going to find that flat neutral position. From the arch position, you come into neutral. The next thing you're going to do is tuck your toes under, slide your legs straight back. No movement in the spine. The support is still there, but it's not as much support because now my foot's farther away. That still feels pretty stable. Then we can go ahead and try to lift the leg up a little bit. Still looking for no movement here in the spine. You know, putting something up there, like a rolled up towel, tennis ball, something like that, that will slide around will give you some good feedback about whether you're moving or not. So with the leg up in the air, if that still feels pretty stable, then go ahead and take the other arm, reach the arm forward, and hold there. Still feels pretty stable, then we can add movement to it. Come under here, knee to elbow, just like a crunch, but it's upside down, and reach back out. Still trying to keep everything still here. If at any point your balance starts to be challenging there, that's where you stay. That's the appropriate challenge for that day. And it may be different day to day, it may be different at different times of day. But when we find a little bit of balance challenge happening, that's where we want to be working. What I want you to do at each position is maybe just take a couple breaths and assess how your stability feels. The changes from one position to another, especially when you're picking your hand up off the ground, if you can make that transition very slowly, it sort of feeds forward the stability required, meaning your brain will remember and kind of catch on to the fact that certain muscles need to be on in order to stabilize in that asymmetric support environment that you put it in. Again, if there's a harder side, spend a little more time on the other side. What we're going to do this month is start with this exercise. We call this the real bird dog. This is where you can really get a lot out of your bird dog exercise rather than just repetitions of reaching the leg as high as you can, the arm as high as you can, without paying attention to that very important piece right in the middle. If you follow at Kaya Moves, coaches, spread this to the Kaya girls so that they can be involved also. Follow at Kaya Moves on Instagram. We're going to be posting rotational stability, derotation exercises all month that you can incorporate into your routines during your workouts, maybe add them in after hours, Kaya after hours to get a little bit of extra anti-rotation stability training going. Hit me up with any questions. Happy May.